I didn't want to start off this video by erroneously saying that I never counted out the defending champs, so I actually went back to my Game 2 analysis of this series, and nope, I did not count the defending champs out. I am glad I gave them that respect, and they deserved that respect, and they had the best player in the world, and we are now tied 2-2 after the Nuggets secured a pair of wins in Minneapolis over the weekend on Friday and today, Sunday night. And yeah, I'm just going to start off with that old cliche. That really was like a gritty championship medal type of performance. They needed that pride, that champion's pride game in Game 3. I thought these two games in Minnesota were just miles better defensively than what we saw in the first two games. Really, the first two games, it looked like the Nuggets were just physically overwhelmed by the length and the athleticism and the size of the Minnesota Timberwolves. But I think in these two games, I mean, the Nuggets have been, 8th in defensive rating all year. They were an awesome defense in the playoffs. They've sort of, over the last 4 to 5 years, 6 years, have honed their defensive scheme around Nikola Jokic, who has gotten better on that end. And, everybody saw it. These first 7 playoff games, Jokic has just not been sharp on that end of the floor. And he's also had, and I mean, it's relative, because bad games for him are like 20, 25, and 9, like in that, Game 4 against the Lakers? But regardless, miles better defensively in these two games. I thought Game 3 in particular, another thing that happened was Jamal Murray finally got going, and he was able to get Jaden McDaniels in foul trouble. And I don't want to just want to bring up this point really quick. And I don't want to make it sound like, the referees have a big impact on this game. There has been a difference in how the game has been officiated with, how the Timberwolves played defense in those first two games. There honestly could have been some fouls called, but they let them play. I liked that. But in these last two games, they've sort of called it a little tighter. It's still no excuse, because I thought the Timberwolves, Game 3 at least, they just came out flat offensively. Anthony Edwards talked about it. But tonight in particular, Anthony Edwards made due on his, proclamation that he was going to come into Sunday better. And he was great today. Started off the game really well. The Wolves got out to a fast start. And where I think the Wolves will really kick themselves watching this game back is that they were not able to take advantage of the minutes where Nikola Jokic was off the court. And the reason they were not able to take advantage of the non-Jokic minutes is because Mr. Nugget himself, as the Nuggets fans love to call him, Aaron Gordon, the guy that solidified this team as a contender when that trade happened, had one of the best games in his Nuggets career. 27 points, 7 rebounds, 6 assists, and the only shot he missed was that tough contested little jumper in the fourth quarter. But Aaron Gordon was fantastic on both ends of the floor. He gave Karl Anthony Towns fits. Karl Anthony Towns was not able to move Aaron Gordon on the block, just was too strong. And on drives, Aaron Gordon was able to slide his feet, was able to guard Karl Anthony Towns well. And then on the other end, I really liked that the Nuggets were just running actions through Aaron Gordon. He was finding guys like Justin Holiday. He was finding cutters. It was just an awesome game from Aaron Gordon on both ends of the court. And then the Nuggets needed somebody other than the starting 5 to step up because, early in the series, Peyton Watson played a bit, but it was clear that he was not an offensive threat, and he has not been playing these last two games. Christian Braun is someone you can trust. Obviously he had some really good games in the finals last year, and he's in the rotation, and he's a guy who will just make big plays, get big offensive rebounds, hit big threes. He hit a nice momentum stopping 3 in that fourth quarter to put the Wolves, or to put the Nuggets back up 11. But Justin Holiday gave the Nuggets much needed shooting. First of all, they needed to get the 3-ball to fall tonight, and Justin Holiday was someone who could, be in moving actions, can be in the corner, and he made his open shots tonight. And he also had some nice deflections too. So you could probably expect Justin Holiday to stay in the rotation for the rest of this series. I don't think this is the series quite yet for Peyton Watson. I mean, you're obviously going to trust Reggie Jackson with whatever backup minutes he will play when Jamal Murray is off the court. But I think the Justin Holiday equation has been a nice boon for the Nuggets because Justin Holiday last game was also fantastic shooting the ball. They just needed some type of punch just in case, Michael Porter Jr. doesn't exactly have it going, or Kentavious Caldwell-Pope goes, 1 of 4 from 3. It's nice to have an extra somebody that, he might be long in the tooth defensively, but we all know Justin Holiday could always shoot, and he could shoot off movement, and that was just something the Nuggets needed. And I really like the aggressive mindset from Nikola Jokic tonight to just score in any type of one-on-one coverage. There were times where he actually waved off potential handoff actions just to take somebody down on the post and then put that shoulder into either Karl Anthony Towns or Rudy Gobert's chest and finish with a nice, lofty, soft floater. Or, running two-man game where Murray comes off the handoff and catches Jokic on the pocket pass while Jokic is rolling, and Jokic is already into his floater. And there was one in the fourth quarter where he just shot it super high over Gobert, and it just went in. The Nuggets just went about executing their offense differently in these two games compared to, short-circuiting in games 1 and 2. And I thought the Nuggets rose to the occasion just in terms of matching the physicality of the Timberwolves. They really clamped down defensively. Anthony Edwards did get his, but they made it tough for Karl Anthony Towns. He shot 5 of 18 tonight. They made Mike Conley, take volume shots. He was 5 of 12, although he was 3 of 7 from 3. And I felt like the open shots that Nickeil Alexander-Walker got, particularly on the wings on 3, and when it's not in the corners, I think the Nuggets were willing to live with that, and he was 0 for 4 in this game. I think they're willing to live with Jaden McDaniels creating offense. He was 1 of 3 from 3. And then also I felt like the Timberwolves' offensive process of trying to get Gobert the ball when he has the seal near the basket, I thought there was a little too much of that. Yeah, the Timberwolves got some fouls out of it, and Gobert was 5 of 9 from the line, but I felt like it slowed the offensive process of the Timberwolves a little bit. And also in the fourth quarter, I felt like Anthony Edwards had to be aggressive the moment he checked in around the 7-minute mark of the fourth quarter. And I don't know, I just did not like the Wolves' offensive process all game. Along with the Nuggets just having a great game plan defensively. They did a really good job. Anthony Edwards just needed more help from Karl Anthony Towns, and he was just not good today. And he made some befuddling decisions in that third quarter. I don't want to go in on Karl Anthony Towns too much for a myriad of reasons. I'm sure he has a lot on his mind today, so I don't want to, kill him too bad for this performance, but it just wasn't good enough. And, it is the playoffs, and this was a big spot. He didn't play well. He only had 3 fouls, but 2 of those fouls were just really dumb, and he just was not efficient today, and Aaron Gordon just made things tough for Cat. I also thought Jokic in these 2 games has just been way better defensively, more effort, more willing to move his feet, making the right rotations, making rotations ahead of the Wolves offense, keeping his steel trap hands active. There was a possession in game 3 where he stripped Anthony Edwards, I think in the fourth quarter, when Anthony Edwards was raising for a mid-range jumper and Jokic stripped him. But big games from the Nuggets' big 3 of Aaron Gordon, Nikola Jokic, and Jamal Murray. And yes, I consider that the Nuggets' big 3 as much as, Michael Porter Jr. salary-wise is the third guy. But to me, it starts with Aaron Gordon, Nikola Jokic, and Jamal Murray. They were just better compared to the first 2 games, and they were able to handle the physicality a lot more. And also, did the Nuggets give Jamal Murray horse tranquilizers or some shit in between games 2 and 3? Because he has moved a lot better compared to the first 2 games of this series. But that was just a gritty, veteran, championship medal type of performance that the Nuggets pulled off in Minneapolis. That was some real adversity, going down 2-0 and going into a hostile environment like Minnesota. The crowd was loud to start both of these games, and I haven't heard it pop once because the Nuggets just took care of business. This is the team that they looked like last year, not messing around. And then on top of that, they looked like the team this year in the clutch where if the Wolves make a run, They just Murray, Jokic, two-man game them to death. And then Aaron Gordon, will just shoot perfect from the field. I think Aaron Gordon had a couple of perfect or near perfect games last year in the playoffs. He's just big on both ends of the floor. Really huge performance from Denver. And man, I need 7 of these.